Our next speaker is going to tell us about taking globally iconic sporting moments and turning them into immersive entertainment. Their first production was a Wimbledon tennis match, bringing theatre, festival, live music into a multi-generational experience, entertaining theatre, music and sports fans. Welcome to Les Seddon-Brown from Rematch to talk about their latest production.
Hello, everyone. My name's Les. I'm the CEO of Rematch. We've been going since 2019, so we're still a relatively young company considering the pandemic speed bump. I just wanted to start with a question. I'm a bit nervous asking this question. Are there any sport fans here? Okay, not too bad. It could have been a long 10 minutes. A thought. If you could go back in time to any sporting event in the last 100 years, what would that be? Now hold on to that thought. And what if I could sell you a ticket? So that is basically what Rematch and the idea behind Rematch is built off of. So Rematch creates immersive experiences, live and digital immersive experiences based on the greatest stories in sports. And our mission as a company is to connect generations and communities through these stories. So first and foremost, and apologies if I'm teaching some of you to suck eggs, what is an immersive event? I think the word immersive is used a lot at the minute, as I'm sure you guys know, and there are a lot of different types of immersive events. And for us, in particular, an immersive event is where we give the fan a sense of agency. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that they can impact the story. And whilst they're impacting the story, we stimulate as many of their senses as possible. So the idea being that they can come back to one of our events multiple times and have a different outcome or a different experience. When we started Rematch, we set out to build a hybrid business. So what you have here is our Rematch ecosystem. And when I say hybrid, what I mean is that we have at the heart of it a live experience. We feel the live experience is still the sort of most pure way to have a tangible experience. But we always set out to create a digital wraparound and integrate digital tools into our live experiences, but also to extend far beyond. I come from a live festival background, and we often had brand sponsors that would come into our events and they'd say, yeah, it's brilliant that we're talking to 50,000 people in a field, but how do we talk to 500,000? How do we talk to 5 million? And the answer was always through content and digital. So from the start, 3 partners in the business, one comes from a digital background, myself from live events. We set out to try and use technology to sort of not only dial up our live events, but also to give us presence year-round. So when our events aren't on, we still have touch points that people can interact with and interact with Rematch, which I'll get into in a second. So how do we do it? Well, in 2019, we launched with Borg McEnroe Wimbledon 1980 event. So we recreated the 1980 championships in a venue in Wembley, the old Fountain Studios where they used to film The X Factor. And within that space, we created 1980 London. So looking at all the different touch points, we researched things like what was in the charts that week and used that as the soundtrack. We even sprayed our cast with perfumes of the time, Drakkar Noir, Dupe. And then we had a whole world that they could explore, they could touch, they could interact with. And then at a certain point, we called everyone into a second space, which was Center Court, And there we had the tennis match. And it was really a proof of concept for us. We had no idea whether we could turn a 4-hour tennis match into something entertaining, something fun, emotional. And I always tell this story. My 5-year-old daughter at the time came to see the show. And at the end of the match, I turned around and she was crying. And I asked her why she was crying, quite surprised. And she said that she wanted McEnroe to win. And so, at that moment we thought, wow, I think there's something quite powerful here. So a couple of impressions from the event there. Now, the pandemic kicked in pretty shortly after our Wimbledon event, which meant that when we got through it, we wanted to come back with the biggest story we possibly could. And there was one person that kept coming up, and that was Muhammad Ali. Globally resonant, a huge personality. And as we started to dig in, it was clear that the story we wanted to tell would be the Rumble in the Jungle. So this is the event that we have on now. It's our second experience. We're live in London at the minute. We're 2 months into the run, so it's nice to be in a different venue from that venue, where I've been living for the last 3 months. We will be putting on 80+ performances for 750 people a night in a venue called DocX in East London. We have a cast of 20 actors and a 7-piece live band performing 6 times a week. So the show starts well before you actually come to it, and again, starting to use those digital tools we have. So as soon as you buy a ticket, the first thing you get is communication from us. We start to build the characters, we start to seed content, send you short video clips. That then carries across to all our social media channels. We send you fashion tips on how to come dressed to the event. It's 1974 Zaire, dress appropriately. Don't appropriate other people's culture as well. And then you get to the venue on the night, and there you get a briefing, and then you're set off through your time travel experience back to Zaire, 1974, and you enjoy the show. And in a similar way, we have a sort of explorative journey, and then a sort of reimagination of the sporting moment, in this case, a boxing fight. So here's the venue. It's a 30,000 square foot empty warehouse, 6-meter plus ceilings. The reason we've done it in this sort of blank canvas is in a similar way to ABBA Voyage. We'd like to tour this, and so we can do this in a non-site specific space. We just need a box. So I thought I'd show you some of the set design renders before they sort of come to life. You can see the different parts of the venue here, the facade of the original stadium in Kinshasa in 1974. All of this, of course, researched by our set design team. And then inside the ring, where you get to witness the fight, we have some really cool VIP experiences where you do a ring walk with Muhammad Ali, with our actor, come into the ring with him. And so it's gone from this to, hopefully this video will play. This. So please do come. We're on till December the 9th, so a couple of weeks left. We've had fantastic reviews from the press, but I think the thing we are most proud of is the audience. This is ultimately a boxing story. There's a huge cultural context to it. There's a big music festival that happened out there with incredible artists like James Brown and B.B. King. But the thing we're most proud of is we have a 50-50 male-female audience, and we also have 40% black audience, which is unheard of in places like the West End. So again, just shows the power of the story and our mission to connect those communities and different generations. So as mentioned, the digital wraparound. What we are trying to do here is create those year-round touch points. So when we finish on December the 9th, can our fans still interact with Rematch? How do they interact with Rematch? So with Story Futures, we collaborated to create a VR experience called Locker Room, where you get into Muhammad Ali's head. It's that internal monologue before he's about to go out in the ring to fight Big George. So we kind of break the fourth wall a little bit here. We have a locker room, a physical locker room at the experience, and hidden in the lockers are these VR headsets. You stick the headset on and you sort of get a bit of historical context on what Ali would have been going through before stepping into the ring. So it's a bit of an Easter egg experience. And this also lives in 30 libraries around the country, where it'll stay beyond the event. And then we're looking to export that into other places, to bring it to the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville as well. So it just gives us a platform to continue telling the story until we bring our live event to the next market. This is a quick little video.
There's a rumble in the jungle, come and see. There's a rumble in the jungle, best believe.
And then very quickly to finish, another sort of digital extension we're working on is we are launching a Rematch time travel club. So I guess built in a similar way to your BA executive club, you collect points, you get perks, etc. And again, that allows us to sort of understand who our audience are. And all of this will be stored on the blockchain. That gives us a much better way to connect with our audiences, to follow their patterns, to allow them to interact with other Rematch fans, to get perks, to use blockchain ticketing technology that will then help us sort of enhance our fans' experiences at future events. We can also integrate the VR and AR experiences that we're building into this as well. And just gives us a really great community to then build upon for future events. That's it. I hope to see some of you at some of our future events. Thank you.